G'day legends, I hope you're all amazing. If you're a fan of Core, I have an absolute treat for you today. This is the ELKORUS from Synthoma. It is a recreation of chorus circuits found in classic 70s string synthesizers. It goes far beyond what those old chorus circuits were capable of. And one reason that I'm so excited to try this out on guitar is there are some striking similarities between the way this is laid out and the classic Diatronix CS5 stereo tri-chorus. Before we get started, an unbelievably massive thank you to my buddy Brian Hook for making this video happen. This came highly recommended, and it's a bit of a rare bird. There's not a lot of videos of it out on YouTube at the moment, and there's not really many on it guitar. It seems to be one of these kind of things that is a bit of a holy grail unit for people into 70s string synth sounds. But let's get straight into it. I'm gonna give you a very quick overview of how this works on the front panel. The manual for this is very well laid out, and if you're super interested in it, you can find it online. But essentially, you've got an input gain control over here so that you can gain stage things correctly. That is pretty sensitive, and it is easy to overload it. It does take line level signals, but I've just kind of got it at the level where it works with my rig at the moment. Then we have two separate LFOs with frequency and level controls on there. Think of frequency as the rate you'd see on a chorus pedal and level like the depth. So we're able to blend those two LFOs in, and this is where the Diatronix CS5 comparison comes in, because there are 3 delay lines. We can set the level and the panning for each of those delay lines. Each delay line has its own EQ switch. Just think of it as like a bright or a warm switch on there. And then all the way over on the right-hand side of the rack, you can set the phase relationship between those 3 delay lines. This is really, really cool. And a quick detour if you're new to chorus and you just happen to be watching this video, but a classic, let's say, boss style chorus effect is to take a single delay line, to modulate it, which is going to change the pitch and create a vibrato effect, and then blend that back with the dry signal. Something like a stereo tri-chorus is going to take 3 modulated delay lines. It will place them 120 degrees out of phase with one another, and then blend them together again to get around that kind of super wobbly seasick vibrato effect. It's a super unique sound, and you can do that and so much more on here. There is a switch which lets you grab that classic 120 degrees out of phase relationship, or you can set delay 2 and 3 180 degrees out of phase if you want to do some of those kind of spatial style effects. Anyway, with all of that said and done, I have the 2 level controls on the LFOs down. I've got a Rockman inspired patch from my Axe FX 3 happening. Let's hear the dry sound, and then we'll blend in a little bit of the low LFO to start. Get out of town. That is ridiculous. That is instantly one of the sweetest chorus tones I've ever heard in my life. I should let you hear that all with a slightly warmer starting point. So I'm going to bring the 2 level controls down. You could hear when I panned voice 2 and voice 3, or voice delay line, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, how lush and wide everything became. And I mean, just the modulation on there is so rich and beautiful. All the usual superlatives I'm going to use to talk about this. It's amazing. Let's start off with something a little warmer. You can hear a little goes a long way on that one there. This high LFO can hit a pretty insane rate on there. And that blend between the low and high LFO on there can give you some kind of faux rotary speaker sounds. All right, let's hear what the EQ switches do on here. I'm going to stick with this same chorus sound. Then I want to just play around with a few different settings on here. There's some recommended in the manual, and I want to play around with that 120 or 180 phase switch on here. So we will stay with the 3 delay lines on here. Let's have a listen to what each EQ switch does. Very, very nice indeed. It's definitely a lot warmer sounding with the EQ switches in the down position, and actually kind of like having that center panned voice with EQ1 on and the outer voices with EQ2. Again, a lot of scope for experimentation and customization in there. This thing's awesome, isn't it? Let's do this. Let's turn down the level of delay line number 1. So now I'm just using delay line 2 and 3. They're panned hard left and right. And I'm going to place them 180 degrees out of phase with one another. Let's just use this low LFO with a very low frequency on there. So we'll stick with the same clean sound. I want to hear if this can do a really nice wide spatial expander style sound with some dirt as well. I'm basically at a loss for words here. This just sounds incredible, having delay 2 and delay 3, 180 degrees out of phase, panned like that with the low rate. Oh, it's making me shiver in here. I genuinely mean that. I'm enjoying this so much. Let's hear some absolute filth in drop D. I'm just going to bring in the low LFO again with a very low frequency, same setup as before. of course, layering on some greasy detuned delays in there just only makes this better. It took me about a day to wrap my head around the way this works, but once you've had some hands-on experience with this, if you get a chance to play one, it actually makes a whole lot of sense in there. And basically, if you've got it on the 120 degrees out of phase mode, you're probably going to want to use all 3 delay lines in there and balance them out. And again, you just kind of balance out the low and the high LFO in there. You could even kind of think of them like a virtual drum and rotor on a rotary speaker in there, because this definitely can lean into those kind of faux rotary sounds on there. You know, again, it's a string ensemble chorus, so it's there to enrich those 70s string synthesizer sounds. It would sound great on keys as well, just like the original Diatronic CS5 was kind of developed for use on electric pianos. But using the 180 degrees out of phase mode there with just the 2 delay lines in there, to me, it sounds like you can kind of get close to that Dimension style sound in there. This definitely lives in the tri-stereo chorus realm on guitar. That is, I'm going to say it, the best sounding rack chorus I have ever played in my life. Keep in mind, I haven't tried a real Diatronic CS5 or a real TC1210 just yet. Would love to try them at some point, but yeah, this is just a thing of great beauty. Synthoma did something really amazing with this. It is a rare bird, and I am so privileged to get to try this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to play you all out with some more of those kind of 80s style cleans with a couple of my favorite settings on here, but this is incredible. I've only got good things to say about this. If you can find one at a decent price and you like chorus, just do it. Tell them Leon sent you. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks to my buddy Brian Hook again. This video has been one of the more joyous that I've done recently. This is one of the best pieces of gear I've actually tried in recent memory. So thanks again, Brian. Thanks to everybody for watching. I'll see you next time.